Hey guys, Bubba here. Hey, I wanted to talk about earthquakes today and what I believe is a major jolt coming, a 7.5 to 8.5 in the Ring of Fire, Papua New Guinea to Japan. We'll find out more.
This is the same location, but the thing is, it was on the last cycle that the windshield was cracked. So this is where the activity started that branched out and started a slew of earthquake events that struck between Japan, Indonesia, and, well, you can call it New Zealand, but this is the origination zone right across here. And so with Japan, this creates the triangle.
That was just a taste of what Terrell03.com is saying, but I wanted to point this out. I noticed this last week and I picked this up from him as well, but I'm going to take us to 8:55 a.m. on March 5th, Saturday, March 5th. This is when Jupiter is going to be fully opposite the Earth with the sun right between us. And that magnetic connection line there, I'm watching this area for a possible, that time frame to be the possible big jolt. He's talking about anywhere from Japan, Indonesia, down to Fiji, that area. But what he's talking about as well is Papua New Guinea. And the last time this happened with the patterns, this is exactly what happened with Papua New Guinea down there. The Ring of Fire is getting ready to get active. Heads up, California and the West Coast as well. Let's continue.
Precisely what's going on here, in my opinion. As the Earth is testifying, clearing its throat, getting ready to tell us, we appear to be on the verge of something big that's about to happen as we come to week 2. Remember 52? Well, week 1 is going to end this Saturday night at midnight, and we're going to start week 2 then.
First, I wanted to point out his website. Go to Terrell03.com and where you click on it to go to Brighteon. But the thing I wanted to point out here, and he's going to update it today with his latest video, but we've had basically 960 days with only 26 of the 7 magnitude earthquakes. We should have 52 to 53. We're missing half of our 7 earthquakes in the past 957 days.
And early in March, I'm expecting that La Palma is going to blast off again. The magnetic portal connection just started getting shorter. It's only been getting shorter for the last 3 days. So we're still, if you're a NASCAR fan, and then we're at Daytona, you're still in the middle of turn 3. You're just a few degrees out of the middle of the center of the corner. We're not coming around the corner yet. We're about to be. And Earth is going to begin testifying. See, we had all this big activity along the mid-Atlantic ridge. Now we have nothing. The hot spots right here. Underneath the island, 7 kilometers. These are pretty big quakes. And we should be looking at volcanism soon.
Here's last night's video update he has.
This is familiar territory. If you remember last year, it was on March the 4th rather than March the 2nd. It's still the first week in March. So we have a 6.6 magnitude earthquake. That's right here. You see it's at about 30 and 177 south and west. So that's north of New Zealand. And we'll look at this is the 7.4 that struck. Look at 29, 170. See, look at your locations. See, 130, 171, almost in the same location. And this is the 8-pointer that struck behind that. See, 29, 177, 29, 177, and the one that just struck 30 and 177. So they're almost in the same location. This is 6.6. The leading explanation, this is a little bit earlier, just 2 days. If we're following the exact pattern, it would be like a day and a half to 3 days after. It would be at a similar time of the day. This is the same location, but the thing is, it was on the last cycle that the windshield was cracked. So this is where the activity started that branched out and started a slew of earthquake events that struck between Japan, Indonesia, and, well, you can call it New Zealand, but this is the origination zone right across here. And so with Japan, this creates the triangle. These are the quakes that struck here in early March, though, just after we were in outside orbital position. These happened in week 2. And so this quake that just struck happened in week 2 because week 1 ended Saturday night at midnight UTC. So it's going to be in the same week. It's going to be week 2. That's when I expected that the jolt was going to begin. And so here we are, and we're on Wednesday of week 1 ended Saturday night at midnight UTC. Now in week 2 is going until Saturday night at midnight UTC coming up. So this 6 magnitude earthquake is going to pop in right down here in week 2. We'll see what's added to that by the time we get to Saturday night at midnight. It looks kind of like that we're going to be looking at a similar pattern that we had on the last cycle. And I'm curious to see if we get another 8-pointer in there, or if we're at the 6.6 now, so we see how high we get in the 7 magnitude earthquakes, and then how much of this pattern that we had on the last cycle, 135 of the 5 magnitude earthquakes, and all of these quakes, even the ones that struck up in here, all struck in the same triangle on the planet. So we had a jolt that came through here. See the J? The jolt, week 2. And then we had this dry period until we got all the way to week 13 at the alignment. That's when the China quake happened, with crazy, crazy town numbers on the 5 magnitude earthquakes. So it looks like that pattern that I'm expecting is trying to kick off and try to start right now. Same location as on the last cycle. So we'll see how things shake out from there. Looking at the rest of the world, just for the last 24 hours. Then I'm expecting the 4 magnitude earthquakes, the pattern to kick off here again. As we had a rash of 3s, and there's 2 3s, and just today they should go as we come around the corner and we're moving toward the black star. Then the 4 should return here, and then we'll see where it goes from there. That situation, and nothing along, just a deep 5.2 on quarter 3, and a little bit of activity along the mid-Atlantic ridge. So just for the last 24 hours, you're going to get a full Earth change report for tomorrow. So before this 6 fell off the map, then we had this 6 that struck. See, that's pretty much on either side of the transition zone. So Japan might want to watch out, just by going by what the last cycle pattern was. And a lot of light colored, less than 3.5 days old. These are less than 3.5 days old. On the deep harmonic tremors, look like that number. A whole bunch of white. Earthquake tremors, they're the shallow ones. These are the harmonic tremors, deep ones. And you can see that the number of quakes at the Puerto Rico quake swarm area is coming back down. Remember, just not 2 weeks ago, there was way up to here. Everything's falling back down. So that's what we're looking at, and we're still at outside orbital position, so that's usually the boringest time. I mean, looking at the map, it's usually really, really boring. The number's really low, and then as we're moving towards the black star, numbers start accelerating again. So we'll see.
So what do you guys think? As you can see, we are in a little lull period right now. It's very quiet, but that's about ready to change. I believe a big jolt is coming as well. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Talk to you soon.